The color of God.
The color of God.
Who says he has a color?
And God is black. I don't mean just a human, like the force that moves the entire universe. You know, the shit that make the sun go around the universe and the shit that make the earth go around the sun. That universal force is what is God. That universal force is inside of black people that are on the earth. That's why things rotate around us. They gravitate. They resonate with our frequencies, you know.
So what's the purpose of white people then?
To represent the lower man. And we represent the higher man.
Maybe they have their own God.
They do. And it doesn't do us any good to worship their God. You know, all races of people view God as something that looks like them. The Chinese man says God is Chinese. The Indian man says God is Indian. You know, the Arabian man says God is an Arab. But these silly niggas over here in America think God is a white man. What type of shit is that? And if you think God is white, you're going to think white people are God's people. Subconsciously, if you don't already think so. So it's very detrimental for people of African descent to adhere to that type of images, you know. 'Cause images are what help control the masses of people.
So if you have a certain images, you're being controlled. So because I've been going to church and they say God is a blonde haired, blue eyed, that's an image in my head and I'm being controlled.
Yes, because you don't. There's certain thoughts you won't have, or certain thoughts they tell you are not good to have. They're controlling how you think. That's the whole basis of religion, to control how you are thinking. There's no free thought within religion. When you first become conscious or get saved or whatever, you know, it's good to be within a group that can help you keep you motivated and, you know, reach your potential. But at some point, if you mature and your spirituality matures, you will have to leave that group because you will have a thought or an idea that is above the group. What I mean when I say that is above the group is you might have an idea that the group goes against, or that goes against the group's creed or code. And therefore, they will not adhere to that idea you have, or they will not pay attention or give it the value that you see. So after some point, you're going to have to leave those groups because they're only going to hold you down.
Is that why you have so many, like you have the Jehovah Witnesses and the Baptists and the this and that, and everybody's going off on their own somewhere? Because there's a lot of religious groups out here.
Those are just
So
sects.
who's right and who's wrong?
Those are all sects of this one group. Or else over here is a sect of Christianity. You know, just like Sunni and other sects are sects of the Muslim. You know, but that religion period is only made to control the world. It was made to control you, so you don't think for yourself. You know, they even tell you to pray, and they even tell you the damn prayer to say. You can't even pray and have a free thought. You know, shit, man, they fucking taking over the afterlife. They telling you what life gonna be after you die. God damn it. Can't think about shit without those motherfuckers inside your mind. That conditioning, man, is not good, you know?
So who's right and who's wrong? I see people dancing with snakes, and they say that's right. If the snake bites you, then you're evil. If the snake don't bite you, then you're not evil, you know? I see a lot of stuff. I see these Jehovah's Witnesses coming to my door every day and telling me his name is not Yahushua and his name is not Jesus. His name is Jehovah. And la la la, on and on. Everybody has something to say.
God is not a Christian. God is not a Muslim. God is not a Buddhist. God is not a Hinduist. If anything, God is an African. And if all these races came from Africans, that means they are nothing but devalued, de-evolved Africans. Think about that. If you come from an African, you are devolved from the African. So what's really a human? What really constitutes a human being or mankind? You know. Shit. I think if Africans created all the races of people, then they are not merely just people, they are the people's creator, so that would be God, would it not? I mean, we're the roots on the tree to humanity. There was a time on the earth when there was nothing but black people here. Nothing but us. And when we came up with the what God was, we said God was the totality of the universe. Meaning that God was within all things, but yet God is everywhere and yet nowhere at the same time. Because he's both, you know, visible and invisible. He has visible qualities and invisible qualities. See, when we came up with what God meant, there was no Chinese man there. There was no Indian man there. There was no white man there. It was just us. Until we get back to just us, we're going to constantly have these perversions and distortions in our thought processes. Bullshit, man. Everybody out here for their own, they got their own secret agendas and shit.
So what do you do? Who do you listen to? Who do you study from? Who do you learn from? I mean, what do you do?
You listen to black scholars that are bringing information and knowledge that people have been trying to hide for centuries, you know. And you also, you know, you read books to enhance your information and knowledge. You know, the difference between information and knowledge is information is information when it's dealing about a subject. That's information. When the information pertains to you, that's knowledge. See the difference? So, if you don't understand how the world works or even how the bodies work, your whole fucking life is mapped out and planned and conditioned, and that's okay with them. Like I tell you, niggas got a religion. It's called eat, sleep, fuck, go to work, and come home. That's motherfuckers' religion. And if you fuck with that, then that's gonna upset people. You're gonna get a little backlash, you know, because you're making them feel uncomfortable. But they need to feel uncomfortable. Because until you feel uncomfortable about something, you don't feel a need to change or to do anything about that, you know? Shit. No. I think people aren't even living. Just get up, go to work, come back home. They do this for years. And when all those years are done, there's so much shit you could have did that you couldn't because you were stuck in this job. You know. And all that time and energy you spent in that job could have been spent on something that could have helped you in your life that applied to what you were doing right now, you know. How many people on their deathbed always be like, oh, I wish I worked more hours. Why wait till you die to think about the things you could have done? Why not do them now? You know?
Mm.
I don't want to be somebody that on their deathbed, oh, I should have spent more time with my kids, or should have went here, went there. I'm gonna do that shit now, cause I'm gonna live, you know. But a liar has come amongst us and has fooled us. It's a verse in the Bible that says, "For when the Antichrist comes, he will sit in the temple of God, saying he is God, and showing himself to the world as God." If I think about that, that reminds me of the Europeans. You know, they came across the world and they actually forced people to think that God was white. China in the temple is your brain. They're sitting in motherfuckers' minds thinking that God is white, professing to the people that God is white, or that God is them, they are God, or whatever you want to call it. But that kingdom inside of us, the kingdom of God, that's the black man's kingdom. That's the one that's to come, because it's not only black because it's black people, but inside of us is darkness, is blackness. Blackness is where thought comes from, is where feeling, where emotion, where light, where everything that is worth living and has life comes from the dark, comes from the blackness.
Hmm.